Most people think that Notebook LM is a research tool, but it's almost like strapping on a jet-powered engine on a shopping cart. But if you don't put your ideas well into the prompt, it's almost like putting a Bugatti only in first gear, leaving that value on the table. And in today's video, I'll show you how to use these AI prompts to extract more creativity, influence, income in ways 99% of people haven't really gone ahead and found out. So I'll give you 7 ways to do that. What's really cool about Notebook is that you can also go ahead and leverage books, but people already know that. Books are like an asymmetrical game, but how do you also go ahead and use books with AI super quickly? Chinese, for instance, and you read it was complete jargon, and you probably have to reread it all again because Chinese is a foreign language to you. So what's also really interesting is you could just go ahead and prompt it what do you call it, the 5 recurring themes from these sources like Reddit, YouTube, these books, the challenges. So you could just go ahead and copy and paste what are the 5 principles that keep repeating in all sources. So in a minute it'll go ahead and read all these sources, and just in a couple of seconds we should have 5 principles. See, this chat has probably loaded. It gives us 5 principles that repeated, and obviously since we have a little bit of sources, it's pretty broad because it just gave us the general principles, but if you have a specific book and it works better for different things, probably self-improvement, history books, maybe fantasy, stuff like that. But since we have basically a lot of sources, you're gonna get a very better result than mine, obviously, because mine has just basically general information. But yeah, if you prompt it in a way, you can get specific information. But you're probably wondering, if you're actually probably learning maybe a foreign language, wouldn't it be great if you could actually speak to a person based upon the context of what you're trying to read? Chinese is also a pretty cool language, but also going ahead and maybe your use case might be reading this book. It would also be pretty cool if I could actually go ahead and talk to the author or something like that. Sometimes you may want to go ahead and probably talk to maybe a podcaster or something like that based upon maybe your contacts. So what's really cool about this is let's say for instance you wanted to go ahead and talk to your source. So let's say, obviously I loaded up the podcast, but you could actually go ahead and join.
Hey there, how can we help?
The podcast, and actually go ahead and interject. So can you tell me more about Chinese, for instance?
Yep.
Can you go ahead and tell me more about Chinese? I want to go ahead and teach my audience about some cool words.
We absolutely can. We love that.
Yeah, and then just like that, you could actually go ahead and learn.
That's why we're here.
Interject.
It's fantastic.
What's really cool. So we all heard about NVIDIA or whatever, but we all know it's also the king of AI with all these microchips, especially for AI. And what is so cool about Notebook is that this use case, if you ever wanted to learn more about AI or basically anything, you could load in competitor websites so that you could figure out how well this like decision is going to be, like pros and cons. And you could either like get like websites like blog posts or like even case studies. So like you could actually just like really ask yourself this, like, is this like idea like does it have like an actual really good vision, like a good promise, or like are like people just actually just complaining about it just for like the fun of it? Because I know video, we all want to go ahead and like see it like all go ahead and like go up to the moon, because AI is just all part of like the whole big thing we're all chasing. And what this would allow you to do is that it will like reveal all the hidden gaps like in your understanding about maybe like the market or just about like the idea, or like whatever you're trying to like make this like pros and cons analysis on. And like it doesn't have to be like about investing. It could be like even like making like a simple thing about like cars. Is this car like a better car, or is this car a better car, or like is this decision better because like I get this in return? Wouldn't it be cool if you could like use some of these like tweets and like comments in order to like create a cool audience compass, so that like if you're like a small channel like me, you could actually like understand maybe like what like people would want. All right, now that I like pasted some of my tweets, let's see how we could go ahead and prompt Notebook LM. So obviously it just shows up general placeholder text, but obviously we could just go ahead and say something like, how would people describe my value? All right. So if you're like a small content channel, you could obviously go ahead and like use Notebook LM to like analyze your tweets and like comments, so that you could go ahead and like give yourself more value. A little bit more creative. So what you have to do is, it's basically like mentor in a box, because we all probably like get inspiration from like Naval, Alex Hormozi, Elon Musk, maybe Warren Buffett if you really like investing. But you know what's really cool is, like, let's say for instance on Notebook, you could actually go ahead and like upload a book or even like a podcast or something like that, and then like in the chat you could just say, if I ask them about like my current problem, for instance, how would they like go ahead and like answer based upon like the content that like I provided. And like, you know, like since it's like very like specific, because like let's say you only like fed Notebook like only like Warren Buffett, like you're basically talking to like Warren Buffett in a way, and like that would give you like a very personalized mental model, because that chat is only you and the source. So that would be really cool, because like you have basically a mentor in Notebook LM, and that's a huge secret that you can go ahead and do right now. Yeah, so let's say for instance you watched a podcast and you had like a question you wanted to like talk about to like Naval. So he in this like video talks about like, you know, some key topics for like the happiness, like wealth, basically like how not to go ahead and like mess up. And what's really cool is like, you know, since Naval was in this video, why can't I just go ahead and like already talk to Naval right now? So, you know, if you've been watching this video, you could either go ahead and like talk with the audio overview, or you could either just go ahead and like chat it up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like probably chat it up, so it could be pretty easy. So knowing that you are Naval, can you give me some tips on self-esteem and moral/virtues? And And just like that, you have like a very cool personalized way of talking to like a mentor in Notebook LM. So yeah, that saves you quite a bit of time if you don't want to go ahead and like read the full podcast, or you want to go ahead and like learn about like a key point in more detail. So yeah, that's a pretty good use case for like using Notebook. For the last secret, this one actually has the highest leverage, and it's simply to go ahead and like upload all your secrets, like your journal entries, voice note transcriptions, old tweets, comments and stuff like that. And just in like a couple of seconds, when Notebook LM actually goes ahead and like analyzes it, you will have instant clarity because you have essentially like a second brain. And that is so crazy because you could critical think alongside Notebook LM, and since it has all this like context about like your understanding, you can basically apply all these principles into like all these like contexts and situations that you probably messed up, and now you can go ahead and like apply that better. So like, let's say like you were just awkward in like one situation, like you didn't really know how to like use eye contact or something like that when you approach this person because you probably were getting pitched or something like that. So now you gave like Notebook LM a really cool magic wand, and now you could probably use that for more clarity and even branding. And that is so cool because now you have this personal principle tracker. So yeah, on to the secret 2 bonuses. And just in a couple seconds, I'll go ahead and show you how to upload your journal entries and all this secret information into Notebook LM. Yeah, so let's say I really wanted to go ahead and like learn more about this one tweet. So basically, the summary is that if you were to go ahead and go on social media, you see all these gurus talk about so many things, like you should go ahead and do drop shipping, you should become an affiliate marketer, and all these things. But if you really do some research about it, you end up spending countless amount of hours and wasted effort on things that probably would be gone in like maybe a year, and you're also at the mercy of external like conditions, and that's really no way to live. And what's really cool about Notebook LM in this context is that since it has this tweet, this beautiful long tweet, we could just go ahead and like say, why is, I don't know, SMMA better than drop shipping in this use case? Yeah, so that's just one way to really go ahead and leverage why putting your tweets in Notebook and having it use so many sources is so good, because now you can have much more clarity when you go ahead and go on social media. So that's just one way of like having a digital library of your past comments and tweets. So I know you probably just went ahead and like scrolled to the very end of the video because the timestamp says bonus. So what I'm releasing is that I'm going ahead and giving you 7 AI frameworks that even if you're solo, you could replace 5 people in just about 20 minutes. And it's mostly based upon leverage.
and like capital code, automations, tools, no code, even if you're like a complete beginner. And you know, that was only just one bonus. The second bonus is that I'm also releasing more comprehensive prompts in the description of this video, and it's gonna be on my Watt page too, so go ahead and check that out. You guys don't want to go ahead and miss out on the free value.